Say your name again. I'm sorry, sir.
No problem. First name is Samer. That's S-A-M-E-R. Last name is I-S-S-A.
Thank you.
Isa.
From Jump Street, what did we have here?
Okay, so on today's date, on March 12, at about 15:30 hours, officers were in the area and they observed a suspect that was wanted for an assault with a deadly weapon. So they recognized the vehicle and they recognized the suspect. They attempted to approach the suspect. He was outside his vehicle, just exited the subway. He was uncooperative, became combative, so they took a step back to de-escalate the situation, and they requested additional units, at which point he jumped into his vehicle, which was a pickup truck. It's more of a Garner truck. Eventually, he got in the back of the truck. They attempted to de-escalate the situation and talk him into surrendering himself, which he declined, and he continued to be uncooperative. At this point, he began to pour some gasoline in the back of the truck, and part of that gasoline fell on his pants. So the officers utilized a less lethal ammunition, which was the beanbag, and the 40mm to disarm him, which did stop him from pouring more gasoline on his person. He did have a lighter as well, so the concern for his safety was paramount. At one point, he recovered one of his chainsaws from the back of the truck, and he started the chainsaw. So the officers maintained their distance, and they continued to de-escalate the situation. Based on what they had, and him arming himself and being uncooperative and refusing to surrender, they have contacted our SWAT unit, and our SWAT officers responded, and they developed their tactical plan. They approached the suspect, and they were able to eventually talk him into surrendering. They utilized the crisis negotiation team tactics, and they were able to get him to surrender peacefully. He was not injured or hurt further, and now he's in our custody.
What are they going to actually book this guy on, if anything? What are you going to hold him for?
He's going to be booked for he's going to be booked for an assault with a deadly weapon.
On who? Police officers?
And it was on a victim. It was a previous incident that happened a month ago. So he was a named suspect on a report, and we've been looking for him, and we finally found him.
Beyond the booking, are they actually going to hold this guy possibly for 5150 for mental evaluation?
Not at this point. We don't have that number.
Based on the things he was saying, were the officers feeling like he was in crisis? Was he speaking to them?
I know he's been going through some emotional stuff, and I can't really discuss any further because out of respect for him. But I know he's the assault with a deadly weapon was related to domestic violence. So I know he's been going through some stuff, and that's why he's having a hard time cooperating, and that's why we took the time to de-escalate and trying to convince him to surrender himself, which at the end he did.
How did officers come upon this car? I mean, did you catch him with a license plate reader, or was there a call that he was doing something strange in the car?
So as you know, part of our investigations, when we come, police reports are filed and we identify the suspect, we do have a strategy of, let's say, distributing flyers with the suspect information and the incident information. In this case, his information was out, was distributed to our patrol officers, and they were on the lookout. These officers recognized him from the flyer, and they recognized his vehicle as well, and they were able to approach him and determine that he was, in fact, the suspect for that assault with a deadly weapon investigation.
You said that at first he wasn't speaking with you. You tried to negotiate and he wouldn't say anything. What made things turn around?
I think the crisis negotiation team, along with our SWAT team, that came along with our SWAT officer, were able to communicate with him. And then the fact that he had a little bit more time that he was out here, maybe just calming down a little bit more. And we were able to just accommodate him and work with him. And again, we utilized the time to our advantage to get him to surrender himself peacefully.
Are you releasing an age or any kind of information about this suspect?
So as far as him, I can't release any specific details, but he's a male Hispanic in his 60s, and that's all that I can tell you right now.
You probably mentioned...
I'm sorry. I do not know. This is anytime that we have a barricaded suspect situation like we did today, we do deploy our crisis negotiation team as part of our tactic to peacefully get the suspect to surrender peacefully. So we do that with all barricaded suspects. So I can't tell you if he's a veteran or not. I do not have this information.
You said he was trying to harm himself. At any point, was he threatening you, any officers, or anyone else?
This is an ongoing investigation. It's a preliminary investigation, and I don't have any additional details to that effect. All that we got into was basically the police report that was filed a month ago.
Exactly a month ago?
I can't tell you it's exactly a month ago, but it's approximately a month ago.
Last question for you. Can you tell us how you feel knowing that this wrapped up without any injuries and without that man harming himself?
It feels amazing. I think that's exactly what we're looking for, is to work with our community members and to be able to get a resolve any conflict, any situation in a way that is going to end up peacefully, that for our community members and for our officers as well. So that's a great ending.
What's your title again?
I'm a lieutenant, the detective commanding officer of Mission Area.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.